What's up, everybody? We're back. So today we're going to be looking at two lists. I'm going to break down two lists and I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to be looking at the divisions, the NFL divisions, and I'm going to rank them from 1 to 8, best to worst. I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at quarterbacks. I'm looking at offseason moves, in general, your organization, and the trajectory of each team in that division. Coming in at number 8, the worst division in the NFL. Easily the NFC South. It's just straight trash, garbage. There's nothing there to look at, but you have to look at it. You know how you should know that the NFC South is the worst division in the NFL? Every year, the 8-8 team is in the playoffs. They are terrible. They're stumbling over themselves to get into the damn playoffs. You have the Carolina Panthers. You have Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which surprisingly enough, Tampa Bay is the best team in that division with Baker Mayfield. I don't know how they keep doing it, but they do. And then you also have the Saints and the Falcons. The Saints will be god awful this year with that new coach, Kellen Moore. I don't have a lot of faith in him to run an entire organization. And they don't have a quarterback. Tyler Shuck's going to be their guy. Yeah, right. Then you have the Atlanta Falcons. They did the stupidest. Remember them last year? That they paid Kirk Cousins $200 million, but then they picked a quarterback with the top 10 pick that they had. Just Michael Penix, by the way, is going to be a great quarterback, but how do you pay one and then pick? Never mind. NFC South, number 8, worst team. Worst division in the NFL. Coming in at number 7, a close number 7, the AFC East. And I know you might be thinking, that's weird. The AFC East has the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Yeah, and then that's about it. They don't have anything else. Who's behind them? Miami and Tua? We have no idea what's going on with Miami at all. None. And in general, Miami, I don't have a lot of confidence in them. They had a good coach, or I thought he was a good coach, and then it turns out they're just Miami Dolphins and they're terrible every year. The New York Jets are going to fumble and stumble their way to another 5 or 6 win season. I don't like the coach that they got, and if you're thinking why would he not like the coach? Because he got in the building, immediately got rid of Aaron Rodgers, and then brought in Justin Fields, got rid of a bad quarterback, brought in a worse quarterback. Jets will be trash next year. And the Patriots, poor Patriots. Listen, you guys won enough Super Bowls for 50 years. I hope you stay at the bottom of the NFL for another 50 years. You don't need to be good anymore. Coming in at number 6 is the AFC South. So the South, both of them, bottom of this list. AFC South is ranked a little bit higher because of CJ Stroud. That's it. I don't like anything else that's going on in this entire division, but the Houston Texans have CJ Stroud, and because of that, you're going to be all right. And plus, they have a pretty good coach, a pretty good defense. Houston had a fall off a little bit last year, but I see them turning that ship around pretty quickly. Right behind them, right? So you have Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson. He can't figure out what he's doing. They can't figure out what he's doing. So they're going to be at the middle of the pack team. Then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are going to continue. I'm so glad that they got the coach that they got, because he is a laughing stock. As soon as he walks in, you're already like, who is this clown of a man? And that's who's supposed to lead an entire organization of men. Get out of here. Jacksonville is going to be at the bottom of the league again. Tennessee Titans, they did get Cam Ward. I think that was great for them. I think that will be good for them in the future. Don't think they're going to be good this year. Coming in at number 5, the NFC West. They have a lot of good teams, actually, but they're still, to me, considered number 5. You have San Francisco 49ers, the Rams, Seahawks, and Cardinals all in that division, okay? So the 49ers had a really bad year last year, and I think that's going to continue this year. They lost basically everyone on their team is like, I'm out of here. I need more money. And San Francisco had to make a really tough decision in sign Brock Purdy or try again at somebody else. And I don't think they had a chance. I don't think they had a choice. They had to pay Brock Purdy. And then that means you don't have enough money for all these other guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing San Francisco struggle. The Rams are going to be good. Matthew Stafford and that coach that he has, somehow, some way. And then they just got a great offensive weapon in Dante, name just left me, the wide receiver that they picked up from the Jets. It's Devontae Adams. They just got Devontae Adams with Puka Nacua. That's going to be outstanding to watch. Seattle Seahawks are idiots. They got rid of a mediocre quarterback to get another mediocre quarterback. Like Geno Smith's got to go, and Sam Darnold's coming in, and he's going to be your organizational savior. You guys are idiots, and you're at the bottom of this list. Arizona Cardinals. It to me for 50 years. Arizona Cardinals. No matter new coach, new quarterback, new owner, new run. New, doesn't matter. They're middle of the pack every single year. It's like they're cursed and they can't figure out why. And neither can I. But I don't care because that's not my team. All right. Coming in at number 4 is the AFC North. All right, so the North's got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Browns. Every single one of those guys is outstanding on one side of the ball or other, except Baltimore. Baltimore's good on both sides of the ball. The Ravens are going to be in the playoffs, and Lamar Jackson's going to be vying for the MVP for the next 5 years. Those guys are going to be good for a long time. Great team. Great coach, great environment. Really like the Ravens. Cincinnati, you got Joe Burrow. You're always going to be in the mix if you got Joe Burrow. The problem with Cincinnati is they mess up everything on defense. They don't want to pay Hendrickson any money, so I have no idea what they're doing with him. They just picked up another guy, another edge rusher in the draft. Now they don't want to pay him. I have no idea. Poor Joe Burrow just wants to make it deep into the playoffs, and the Bengals themselves are holding him back. Pittsburgh Steelers, great defense. They have no idea who their quarterback is. You don't know who their quarterback is. I don't know who their quarterback is. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It's either going to be 57-year-old Aaron Rodgers. You saw the dumpster fire he left in New York, or Mason Rudolph. I have no idea what Pittsburgh's doing, but I still believe they'll win 8 or 9 games this year. And at the very bottom of this list is going to be Cleveland Browns. They'll still have a top 10 defense, and they'll still have a bottom 10 offense, and that's exactly why they're at the bottom of the AFC North. All right. Coming in at number 3, the NFC East. That's right. My Dallas Cowboys, our division, comes in at number 3. And I know what you're thinking. That's crazy. I thought he was going to homer this thing and put the NFC East at the top. Well, I do like the Cowboys, but I am not delusional. The NFC East does have the Eagles, the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants, right? We got to throw them in there. Giants, terrible team. It's a wash of a season. They're idiots for doing the Jackson Dart trade back into the first round, but they've been idiots for a while. You saw how they gave away Saquon Barkley to the damn Eagles. All right, the Commanders are in the mix. They just went to the NFC Championship. They got Jaden Daniels. They had a great coach. They got a lot of money to spend. They're going to be good. I think the Eagles will have a little bit of a fall off this year. They lost the offensive coordinator. They lost a lot of pieces on defense. So I do think they'll have a dip. Still think they're a great team. Then, of course, my Dallas Cowboys had an outstanding offseason. I'm going to be honest with you. I still have the Washington Commanders as number 1 in that division, but I see the Cowboys and Eagles a lot more even and vying for that number 2 spot. All right, so right above them at the number 2 spot, Patrick Mahomes in the AFC West. And I say Patrick Mahomes because not only can he carry an entire football team for a whole season, he can carry a whole damn division if he had to. Hate that guy. Hate that he's so good. But he is, so just acknowledge it and move on. Kansas City, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. I think they're all outstanding. The Chiefs will be in the playoffs. The Chargers will be in the playoffs. Denver has Bo Nix, and I hate Bo Nix, but they do have an outstanding coach, so they'll be vying for a spot. The Raiders, who they did make an improvement. I make a lot of jokes about Geno Smith and him being terrible, but if you didn't have a quarterback this year and then you went out and got the 19th best quarterback, that's a huge upgrade for you. Then you go out and get Ashton Genty. You might just hand that guy the ball 500 times and you'll make it to the playoffs. Okay. Now, all that being said, it's easy to crown number 1 because there's no one left. It's the NFC North, and it's not even close. The Lions, Packers, Bears, and Vikings, all of them somehow won 14 games last year. Don't know how the hell they did that. All right, just kidding. They didn't actually win 14 games, not all of them. But just an outstanding division. The Lions, although they lost their offensive, defensive coordinators, I look for them to have a fall off this year, but I think they're still going to be pretty good. Don't think they're going to be the kings of that division. I'm going to give that to the Bears. Believe it or not, I love everything that the Bears have done this offseason. I have a lot of faith in them. So it's going to be between the Bears and the Packers. I think it's going to be the Bears and then the Packers and maybe the Vikings. I don't even know. I can't even rank this division individually there. But I do know that by far, easy, the NFC North is the best division in football. Okay. All right, my next list. My next list is going to be I'm going to take a deep dive into the NFC East specifically, and I want to rank in the 4 teams who had the best offseason. I'm going to look at everything from the coaches to new players to new quarterbacks to drafting to free agency, ball it all up, spit out on the other side. Who do I think had the best offseason? All right, let's get straight to it because it's not surprise, surprise. Surprise, 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 surprise. The winner is my Dallas Cowboys. Had the, by far, in the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys had the best offseason. If you look at the draft alone, outstanding A plus. There are 4 or 5 starters coming out of that thing. Unbelievable draft. It feels like the draft that we used to have 2 or 3 years ago. Really happy and really excited with everything they did in the draft. And then George Pickens, the trade for George Pickens and the draft alone stump all the other teams. I feel like everybody had so many questions about the Dallas Cowboys, right? And then the George Pickens trades happens, and now everybody's like, oh, playoffs. Yes, yes. You know why? Because it's an outstanding move, and it's a move you should be making. But the Cowboys just sometimes don't make those moves, but be happy that we did. All right, putting those 2 pieces together. Obviously, we did lose some people. Zach Martin retired. Tank Lawrence left us for Seattle. As soon as he leaves, he turns around and he talks crap about the Cowboys. All right. So right behind us was the Washington Commanders. I really like what they did this offseason. And remember, they have a young quarterback, not a rookie. It'll be a sophomore year for him. But you don't have to pay him a lot. So if you don't have to pay your quarterback a lot of money, then guess what? You can use that money to give to other people like Laramie Tunzel, like Debo Samuels. So I like a lot of the moves that those guys did in the offseason. And they already had a really good team. And most of their coaching staff is coming back. I think they're going to be really good. Personally, I think the Washington Commanders are number 1 in the NFC East as of right now, as of today. And then I think the Cowboys and the Eagles are trying to figure out what number 2 is. You got to give it to the Eagles right now because they're the Super Bowl champs. So that's just the way I look at things, right? All right. And that being said, I do think the Philadelphia Eagles had the 3rd best offseason overall. They did lose a lot of pieces, I think, on defense, and that's going to be a struggle for them. Losing your offensive coordinator is never easy. Plus, a lot of teams struggle coming off of a Super Bowl win. So I think you put all those together, I think they have a rough season coming up. I just don't think they're going to be as good as they were. They did get a great linebacker in Jahad Campbell. I think that was the number 1 rated linebacker. And then they went out and got the safety from the University of Texas, and his name is escaping me for some reason. But so they had a decent draft. They didn't get a lot of picks, but with the few picks they did get, I think they knocked it out the park. They did lose Slay and Bradbury, and then Graham retired, and they just recently traded Bryce Huff. I'm not too sure what they're doing. I feel like they lost so many pieces. They should have tried to keep Huff, but Huff's not that big of a deal. So they'll be all right. They have a really good general manager. And then of course at the bottom of the barrel, not only of the NFC East but of this entire NFL, is your New York Football Giants. They will be cursed, and they will be one of the worst teams until they get rid of Brian Daboll and their terrible general manager, guy who got rid of Saquon Barkley and stupidly let him go within the division. Because of that, you're cursed in the division. That being said, they did get Abdul Carter, which was a good move for them, but then they went out and traded back in the 1st round. They gave up unbelievable. They traded back in the 1st round to get Jackson Dart, and I think that was just a foolish move on their part. They also, they signed a few guys, Chauncey Golston, our guys over there, but Chauncey was going to be he's not a starter for us. He's maybe the 2nd or maybe the 3rd guy on that defensive line. So I don't really like a lot of the moves that they made. I think their draft was okay. They did get Jackson Dart. My thing was they gave up too much to get him. But anyway, their quarterbacks are Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart. And if you don't know who your quarterback is, you're going to have a problem. And Russell Wilson, as of right now, is projected to be the starter. And I guess he should be. He's, I guess, the best quarterback on your team. But doesn't that suck for you? Like, don't you sit back and say, shit, Russell Wilson's our starting quarterback. Like, what does that put us? That puts you at the bottom of the league. And any other expectation is going to be too high for you. They'll win 5 games this year. Anyway, that's my ranking. Dallas Cowboys number 1, Washington Commanders number 2, the Eagles at 3, and then your New York Football Giants are just not only the worst team in the NFC East, but the worst team in the NFL. All right, so that's it for today, man. I really appreciate all you guys for checking in with me. All right, so now we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Twitter, and now we even have a TikTok. If you follow us on all of them, follow us on any of them. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. My last video got like 1,600 views on YouTube. God is so good. I'm just sitting here talking football, man. I'm not selling you anything. If you like football, especially if you like the Dallas Cowboys, tap in with me, check in with me, follow, like, and share. We appreciate it, man. We can see it. I promise you, when people share my stuff, I can tell because my views, quadruple because of it. So thank you guys for doing that. Anyway, that's it for tonight, man. I will check you guys out next time. Thank you so much for checking in with the Landry Formation, and we'll see y'all next time, man. Good night. Peace out. Back,